What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Goods, XY Big Z. We back in the building, man. Listen, man, we talking about Kendrick. Kendrick Lamar had his interview with Apple Music, exclusive, Super Bowl halftime interview. This was a good watch. And first of all, I want to say out the gate, shout out to Nadeska and shout out to Ebro. I think they did an awesome interview. I think they did a great job interviewing Kendrick. And I think the conversation was real positive and the conversation had a lot of gems and a lot of insight. Just going into like the process of creating GNX, motivation behind some of the records. And I thought it was a pretty interesting interview, man. One of the things that I saw that was dope, he talked about what his intent was behind his 2024 run. I thought it was interesting to hear him say this.
I think from day one was to always keep the nature of it as a sport. I don't care how motherfuckers look at it as far as like a collaborative effort, that's cool too, but I love when artists grit their teeth. Like I still watch battle raps. I still watch Smack URL from Murder Mook to Lux to Tay Rock, my bro Daylight. This has always been the core definition of who I am, and it's been that way since day one. So I don't think it was a thing for this year. It was always just a continuum. What I will say about this year, it was more from a space where I think a lot of people was putting rap to the back. You didn't see that grit. You didn't see that bite anymore. So I always took that in consideration in going into any type of my music.
And, him saying that his intent from day one was to keep the nature of it as a sport goes back to Kendrick saying, keeping it PG. It's kind of just hinting to the point that hip hop just got to a space where it just wasn't competitive. The crafting of lyrics, the crafting of putting something together that means something. There's a process when it comes to writing, right? There's a process that I think has been long ignored. There's something about sitting down, writing something, and piecing it all together. Some people don't write a straight 16, right? Some people put together a part here, another part goes here, another part is there, and then sometimes that all comes together in one puzzle, piecing it together. It's part of the writing process, and I feel like that just needs to be protected at all times. That goes to the point of people writing for people, all this other stuff. And I like that Kendrick Lamar is saying that, he felt like a lot of people was putting rap to the back. And I could see that, and no disrespect to the people that make their music in different ways. I mean, it is what it is. Everybody has their process, but rap is the foundation, right? Hip-hop is the foundation, the culture. Keeping that sacred is important. I like the positivity of this interview. Kendrick Lamar gave some advice to some young kids on staying authentic. And this is what he said.
It's about not being like anyone else. And how could they stay authentic while pursuing your path?
It's a great question. They said the number one thing people feel in the room, over love and over fear is being authentic. And this is some my homegirl Ink actually, we was talking about this in the studio. She brought us in the studio. And I was like, damn, how many times I've been in a room where people felt you so intensely that it inspired them and inspired the person next to them and inspired the people in their household.
And see, this is why I feel like Kendrick has the ability to connect with so many people. They think it's just lyrics, rapping, diss tracks. There's a certain connect that artists have a gift of, like connecting with people. And I feel like you can connect with people just by self-expression, right? Being able to just be authentic. And I think it's so dope for him to mention, knowing that you woke up this morning and you're the only you.
You have to believe in yourself and have to know that it's only one you. You're an amazing individual, unique. You're a miracle. I wake up every day and I'm like, this shit is crazy. Not crazy from a standpoint of being a celebrity, crazy just life. It's just wild. When you really sit down and just think about it and just bug out on some wild shit, it's wild. And to know that you are in this existence and in this world, visual is only you, you have to know that you got to carry that authentic nature of allowing yourself to say, this is who I am. This is how people are going to see me and also going to respect me, and it's going to inspire people to have truth, because when everyone's authentic, what comes out of that is true love. There's no boundaries. We don't have any courtship on judgment. We don't have any perception of being able to ridicule anyone, because you showing up as your true self, I'm showing up as my true self. And carrying that nature, it take you places.
It's kind of trippy when you really think about it. You're the only version of you. So the best thing to do is be that authentic version of you, and at least try to be that and put that out in the world, because only you have the gift of offering you to anyone else. That's a crazy way to look at it, but an amazing way to build your self-confidence too, right? And to just be able to connect with the messages here. I think that's a dope thing to say, and just consider yourself a miracle and wake up every morning like, yo, I woke up me. You know what I mean? So I thought that was dope. Within this rap beef, the thing that's come up a lot has been, conversations of the culture. Like, what is the culture? Who's part of the culture? They talked about what Kendrick basically thought about and his reaction after winning 5 Grammys. Because winning the 5 Grammys is a big, huge thing. It's history made. So Kendrick Lamar speaks on how he processed that.
I was just thinking about the culture, really. It's always that for me first. I'm not even bullshitting with you. It's like when people talk about rap, man, the conversations I hear, they think it's just rap and it's not an actual art form. So when you put records like that at the forefront, it reminds people that this is more than just something that came 50 years ago. They forget that it's even been here 50 years. Right? And like kind of like belittle it. So I love to see that it gets that type of recognition for just straight raps. From awards to the billboards, all that, because this is truly just as big as an art form and a genre as any other genre. So that's what I think about, and I feel accomplished being able to do that. Whether somebody else come behind me and do it again and quadruple it, I love to see it. If that was my purpose to do that, then that's exactly what it was for that particular moment.
What I get from this is basically doing what you do, and if people fuck with it, they fuck with it. And if they don't, they don't. Like, you have to understand what you have to give out to the world, and whatever you have to give out to the world is whatever you have. Like this sitting back thinking about people like that don't accept it, or rap is an art form that needs to be respected. He's right in saying that he felt like people were putting it to the back. So it is definitely dope to see it get the kind of recognition that it's getting right now. I definitely see and feel like there's a shift in the culture when it comes to hip hop and the way people, take in hip hop. I definitely see a shift. And Kendrick Lamar also went on to talk about how GNX came to be.
Talk about your headspace between Mr. Morale and this GNX.
Yeah, my cousins was like DJ Quick, and Dre, these folks that my people was playing. So I always had that DNA. And, you heard that DNA a little bit on Good Kid, Mad City, but I wanted to tell my story first, right? And fast forward to GNX, I felt it was just a perfect time because not only the energy was lost, but it was an energy that was bubbling inside of me as well. I wanted to go back to the forefront of just the bite and just the grit of rap, just all raps and hard-ass beats. And that's like the basics for me. I thought about, damn, what I used to like when I was a kid. Hard raps, good beats, that's smacking, right? And it was a great transition from Mr. Morale because that was my most intimate. I wanted to go inside of my own psyche and my own personal withdrawals and see how it connects with the public and who can relate. So during this time around, I think it was necessary coming out of that cocoon and feeling like, okay, I arrived now. I can spread my wings and show every state of who I am as far as Kendrick Lamar.
I just thought it was dope for Kendrick to talk, and the conversation was centered around putting the culture first. I like him mentioning that, you can't fake the culture, because I know a lot of people ask about the culture. Who's part of the culture? You cannot fake it.
The culture and just being black, I can't help that, man. It's just not something that I think about or even try to like go, I'm black. Shit, it's just go. It's
in you. It's not on you.
Yeah, it's gonna come out every time. I can't sugarcoat it. I can't downplay it. I'm at a point in my life I can't necessarily fake the funk for nothing, and I've always had an essence of that. But you have kids and shit. That shit's like I have to be who I am authentically, and if the world can't accept that, then so be it. But who rocking with it, I'm gonna put it all the way out there. Whether it's in private or whether it's on the main stage.
I'm glad in this interview, he made it a point of not apologizing for being black, because it's something that when it's in you, you don't have to force yourself to do anything that expresses it. It just naturally happens. And I'm glad that he touched base on that, because I feel like a lot of people needed to understand that. Even him going into the songwriting process, just the way that he talks about it, just the dedication.
As a writer, and that's what I can appreciate the most. And knowing how much time I dedicated over the years and just trial and error, writing the most terrible shit to some of the greatest shit. We all do it, from writer's block to figuring out how to find inspiration from the most non-popular aspects around me. So it's like knowing that trial and knowing what I put in as far as my thinking process and what it takes to get there, I do not look at it as a small like endeavor because it's a hit record. No, it's actually some writing in that shit. You know, whether it connect with you on a spiritual level, whether it connect with you on a comedic level, whether it connect with you just on a personal dynamic, it's still from a writer's point of view.
If you've actually made music, you already know it. You have these points that he's talking about and you can relate. The writer's block, you know, scrapping songs, spending so much time writing something and then scrapping it for something else, spending so much time creating a song and just tossing that out. There's a process when it comes to music, and that process always needs to be respected. It's like a natural gatekeep, right? Because if you don't want to do the work, you can't be in the game. You got to put in the work. I always feel like people who try to like skip these parts of the process, they always end up being fly by night kind of artists. You can't cheat the process. It is what it is. Spoke about it in this too, PG Lang and their creative aspects and what they're going to bring to this show, I think is going to be amazing.
Like what we're gonna see on Sunday is a PG Lang production.
Yes, that's all PG Lang. That is us sitting day in, day out, from the edits, the production, the stage design, the music, the sound tech, everything across the board. And it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of creative individuals. I can't sit here and say it's all me. These are people that are just as passionate and want to see us win, but also want to put out something that lives a long, long time. With Dave's creative mind, it's just, he's insane, man. That dude is like Basquiat in so many different fashions.
I saw someone put in the comment section, I can't believe the Kendrick Lamar show is going to have a football game. You know, so it's dope to see, man, but it was definitely a good watch. And again, shout out to Nadeska and Ebro. I think they touched on a lot of things. I think it was put together very well. So shout out to them, and shout out to Kendrick Lamar for coming out and doing the interview. I just think there was a lot of things to get out of that. Obviously, if you want to watch the whole thing, you got to go and watch it on Apple. I can't show you the entire interview. You already know how that works. Go ahead and watch that and, you know, come back with your thoughts. Jump in the comment section, come back with your thoughts. Let me know how you felt about it. Let me know your thoughts about some of the key points of the interview. Listen, if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Violate that like button for your boy. It's your boy Goods, BigZoeTV. Let's go.
Nigga second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.